everyone, and welcome to Innovation in Smart Cars Fireside Chat with Mercedes-Benz Tel-Aviv. Vehicles are no longer perceived as just means of transportation. They are becoming smart and connected to the ecosystem, thus creating a huge mass of data. Joining me today to discuss this topic further is Mr. Guy Harpak, Security and Technology Expert at Mercedes-Benz Tel-Aviv. Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Harpak.
Thank you, Klavdija. It's great to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're more than welcome. We see a growing discussion around smart car concepts, connected, autonomous, shared, and electric. How do you see the trends in your day-to-day work in Tel Aviv?
So that's a great question. Obviously, these trends affect the day-to-day work. They're also one of the reasons why we have an R&D site here in Tel Aviv. I would say that I'm a technology person, so I look at how the trends affect my day-to-day work, but also how they affect the general technology ecosystem. As a technology person, I'm also more, lean biased towards looking at only the technology, but I think that the main thing that we need to look at, or at least the first thing that we need to look at, is how we see more and more value being delivered to the customers with using software in the car, in the cloud, in IoT devices or smartphones connected to the cars. So this first impact of more value delivered with software attracts new talents to the industry, new software engineers, software product managers, kind of affecting the way the industry works. And this is exciting as a person coming from tech to look at the automotive industry. This usage of software and of the new technologies unlocks new customer value, allowing us basically the customers and us as an OEM to offer ways to, I would say, utilize the time spent in the car more. Better for all of the passengers in the car, the drivers and the other passengers. You can imagine yourself how you could do that. This starts with productivity tools for the work, goes through entertainment, and up to even things like health-based offerings that can come in the car. So these trends that you described are changing the way we deliver software, and I see how the ecosystem is reacting. The ecosystem here in Tel Aviv, for example, is starting to offer new solutions. This is how our innovation is formed. Second impact beyond how we deliver value is that you see more variety in the automotive industry. So it's nice to look at the electric vehicles, and it's very exciting to look how electric vehicles are being built. It's a new technology of how you drive a car, but you can also see that it's pushing not only the car, but also the society, how human beings use energy, how human beings treat energy, how human beings treat new energy sources. So I look at the automotive industry as something that has a lot of impact on society in general and how we use technology. And I see value coming when this drives the ecosystem. So I see new companies that offer new technologies, but I also see amazing value here in Tel Aviv with companies that do what I call take ideas from other industries and other concepts and utilize them in this new automotive industry. So the trends that you're describing is allowing for new concepts from other industries to come into the automotive industry and basically create new areas of technology. For example, you see radars that used to be radars that are used, for example, in the aerospace industry and existed for maybe even decades. But now they are being used in cars in order to detect pedestrians jumping in the road and prevent the next car accident. So these are very interesting concepts where you see new industries transition into the automotive industry. And third, and maybe most important, when I look here at, you asked about the day-to-day work here in Tel Aviv, and I look at the local R&D side, so I see that we have young talents here. We have young people that are joining more than 100 years old company. So you see how the new ways of operating and the new ways of the new technologies, but also the new ways of delivering the value that I mentioned is attracting the next generation of innovators. So I think that these trends shape the industry, shape how we deliver value, shape the technology, but also have impact on all of the ecosystem.
Very great insight, Mr. Harpak. And as we were talking about trends, do you think that the growing trends in the industry offer a chance for any other technological collaborations as well?
Well, first of all, I think when you look at how I analyze the first question, so obviously yes, because we see new technologies coming, for example, from around the industries. Now we have the chance for collaboration in the automotive industry. But I would say that there was always a responsible collaboration in the automotive industry, at least when I look at the great OEMs. Collaboration was always there. But today what I see is an interesting trend where startups that I used to know personally from the ecosystem are starting to offer automotive-centered use cases or products. So you see that in the cybersecurity space, for example. There used to be cybersecurity for IoT, but now any company that had a cybersecurity offering for IoT would offer a use case of our solution for automotive. You see that in entertainment or in other gaming industries, for example, that now they see a chance to utilize the games, casual games, also for the passenger in the rear seat. So this is another aspect of collaboration that I can see day to day. I think that a lot of the startups that I meet show me examples of how they integrated their solution with other leading OEMs. And this is a live example of the fact that we have more collaborations, because I worked in the startup ecosystem here for many years, and I didn't see any OEM, in the horizon. But now every second startup I meet has an example of an actual work he did with an OEM. So to answer your question, yes, I see more chances of collaboration. I see that in practice, and I see more and more opportunities, and also a lot of openness from how we operate, because we actively look for this open innovation, and as we can see, we also actively find it. Short answer is yes.
Thank you for the longer explanation. Innovation is definitely the fuel of the future, so I am very excited and happy to hear that OEMs are connecting and working with startups more and more. Previously, you've mentioned that a lot of young talent is coming to Tel Aviv. Could you maybe elaborate a bit further? Why is Israel such a good spot to drive innovation further and faster?
Well, first of all, I'll say Israel is a member of many other countries that are good spots to drive innovation further. So I think Israel is a good example. It's one example. I live here, and I think about your question a lot. I mean, what are the key enablers, and what are the key principles that helped create this buzzing ecosystem here in Tel Aviv and Israel in general? Usually I analyze it from two different perspectives. First is the environment, and second is the individual. So the environment in large in Israel is culturally leaning towards innovation. That means that when you grow up, you always look at the technological education as something very important, that also can't come alone. It also needs to come with general education. And this pushes you to see, this creates the curiosity that allows you to see the opportunities for innovation. When you're exposed to technology from a young age, and I often ask this question when I need to interview new people, since when did you start coding? When you're exposed to technology from a young age, so you kind of start to think like the computer. It's not always good, but it does good an upside when it comes to innovation. So you become intimate with the technology, and that's important. Also, there is a buzzing, also from the environment perspective, I would say there is a buzzing venture capital ecosystem here. So if you want to do innovation in Tel Aviv, in Israel, then you usually have sources for money and a lot of people to learn from. The venture capital industry and also the other companies are very collaborative in terms of helping each other thrive. I think this ecosystem is a result of strong encouragement done using policy in the country a few decades ago that led to success stories, that led to new capital flowing in. And this capital is very sophisticated in the sense that it helps the ecosystem thrive. So it's not only money, it's also connections, finding talents, finding business opportunities. From the individual perspective, because these two perspectives are more environmental, I would say that for the individual here, becoming an entrepreneur is like if you would become a rock star in the 90s. So this is like the peak ambition in the industry. And this is people's aspiration. I know it from my own experience. I was there as an entrepreneur, and it felt like you're in the top league of your side. Of course, the reality is that also working for companies that are big corporates is also exciting, and there's a lot of room for innovation. But culturally, we admire the entrepreneur. And maybe most important, mistakes are culturally acceptable here. I mean, you're encouraged to make mistakes. It's of course, people would it would be better if you can succeed, but if you try something and made a mistake that doesn't hurt anyone and manage to learn from it, then it's perceived as a good thing. It's not perceived like you made mistakes and you should lower your heads or your profile. And I think this allows for innovation, because most innovation is taking a chance of failure. And if you as an individual think that it's good, then you would try and do it. So the environment, the buzzing ecosystem, and the cultural that pushes people to do innovation.
That sounds amazing. I can definitely personally say that I should most definitely visit Israel. And I really like the point where making mistakes is seen as an opportunity to learn rather for something to put the person down. You know, mistakes are the best ways for us to grow. And it's the best way to help innovation grow as well. As you are the perfect person in this environment with your experiences, I would like to ask one last question. What are the lessons learned about how to build a partner ecosystem and accelerate innovation, as ecosystems are the key?
Mm-hmm. So I think, first of all, always find a way to make the process easier. If innovation starts with one person or a small group of people trying to do something new, then they have a lot on their heads. And they don't necessarily have neither the time nor the capital, or not even the knowledge how to deal with bureaucracy, how to deal with processes, and how to do all of the things in an orderly manner. So always find a way to make things easier, because innovation comes with, like we said earlier, trying to make mistakes. So lower the fear factor in doing innovation. Second, be open about your expectations. We here, when we work with the ecosystem, we are a great and international company. We have high expectations. We only do best of class products and best of class. We expect companies that know how to behave in integrity and in a very ordered manner. So we are open about these expectations from the start, and then the other side can plan in advance and decide if they want to take this journey with us. And I think it's true for if you're a government or if you're a large corporate, and also if you're just a person. Be open about your expectations. Allow for safe mistakes. Like we said earlier, build this sandbox. Build a sandbox where people can see that they have the guardrails, when people know they can make mistakes, and this will be appreciated. It will be, like you said, a chance for learning. And after you build the sandbox, let the flowers bloom. Let the people come into the sandbox, play, and encourage them. Show them that one day, if they build a good enough castle, then they can get out of the sandbox and use it in the world. And I think last is put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. There are many valuable brands, then use your brand. There are many assets that you have in order to encourage innovation. Use these assets. But also let the people know. So it's not just marketing, it's not just slogans or cool ads. It's really putting yourself out there in the field, meeting with the people, arranging meetups, letting the friction happen. Even let people play with the assets that you have without any commitment and without any commitment on either side. But allow them to feel that you're a partner for innovation, and I think that the people themselves will bring the innovation, because in the end, all innovation is a spark in someone's mind that meets the fuel in order to light the fire. So put the fuel and let the sparks touch it, and then I think you will have innovation.
There we go. 4 easy steps. Keep it simple, communicate your expectations, create a safe environment where mistakes are allowed, and get yourself out there, network. Perfect. Who knew it would be so simple? Okay. Well, thank you again for spending time with us and helping us explore the urban future. It was my pleasure, Mr. Harpak.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. And I hope that next time we will do it not virtually.
Yes, I hope the next time I will be able to fly there and meet all the innovations.
Thank you.